everybody. Welcome to Start a List with Stacy and Carol. I'm Stacy.
I'm Carol.
Um, and we are so excited everybody is here today for our fun little podcast. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Good. I've I
You
feel I, if you're watching this, my
look-
hair looks crazy. I have been out in the wind today. It's like a wind tunnel.
It's very windy.
Yes, I subbed at school for just half a day, but it felt like a good 12 hours.
Yeah.
It was kindergarten and they were on one today. And I got to go back tomorrow for the full day.
Oh, sounds like fun. I went into work from 5 o'clock until about 8:30. And then I took my dad to the tax prep guy. That was fun.
You've had a full day too.
Woo! Yeah,
Uh,
don't be jelly.
well, today I was like, oh no, do I regret my decision to go back tomorrow? But it's fine. I've subbed in this class before, but they are getting ready to have spring break. The
Yeah.
kids know it and they're ready for a break. Their teachers are ready for a break. So hoping it doesn't rain tomorrow and I don't get trapped inside all day with them. But
Ooh, then you can catch the invisible whatever in the
yes.
air and make them all catch. See how many they can catch.
Well, anyways, I'm a little pooped to be honest, but I'm
Yeah.
excited to talk with you today.
You too. What's been happening?
Not much really, just I don't know, not much. Just
Stuff. Yeah.
yeah,
Sounds
I'm sorry, I gotta get my
exciting.
brain cells back working. Not much. I mean, we've just been doing stuff around the house. The weather's been pretty, so Perry cleaned our patio off so we can sit out there now, and that's nice.
Nice. I will have to not pressure wash, but leaf blow mine because it gets very dusty and
Yeah.
everything. And wipe everything down before we can go out there. But I am very excited that it's March because, as you know, Stacy, I'm a huge sports fan, and I'm all about March Madness. Whoop whoop.
Oh,
So
I know, and we talked about it when you got stranded at the Charlotte airport. If y'all haven't listened to that,
yeah,
airport sleepover was one of our
yes,
episodes. But
my
I know,
favorite.
I know you're excited. I'm not a huge sports person, but I support you fully, girl.
Okay, well, good. I literally will just turn on the TV and mindlessly watch game after game, and
Oh,
then
I love
I
that.
it's very therapeutic for me. I guess
Good.
because I kind of grew up doing that and with my
Yeah.
family, and I have fond memories of my mother screaming at the television. I'm like, they can't hear
Now
you.
you're screaming at the
Now
television.
I'm screaming at the ref, and my favorite term is move, ref. Like it just seems like they're always right in the way. And it's kind of scary because, man, some of those players, you get really knocked out. They'll blow through the trying to shoot a layup and just plow the cheerleaders and the cameraman. And
It's exciting though. When I danced in college on the dance team, we stood like on the floor. So you could see
yes,
all the action up front and I like
yeah,
basketball games the most because they were fast paced and it
yeah,
went quickly. It wasn't like football kind of drags on sometimes.
it does. I have to shout out to my son, Will. He is in Jacksonville calling the D1 ASUN tournament.
Ooh,
So
go Will.
go
That's
Bisons. He's a
awesome.
Bison. So I'm excited for him. He's
Good.
excited.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
exciting. Well, we were
Yeah.
chit chatting for all of you out there, and we like to just brainstorm different ideas and things and stuff. And so today's just sort of a hodgepodge of mishaps and misfortunes and things that we've done and have happened to us, and
Yeah.
uh,
Times we should have not
participated
anything.
in
Just
anything.
no. Just no.
Start restart. And I'm sure many of you have had moments or even days like that, right?
Yeah.
So that's just kind of what today's episode is going to be about. So I'm going to let Carol kind of start us off, set the mood, if you will.
Well, I read a funny quote. It was actually by Einstein, who, I mean, you would expect something very deep from him. And the more I
Yes.
read it, the funnier it is. But it said the difference between stupidity and genius is that genius has its limits. And I'm thinking, very true. Very true.
Well, yeah.
I mean,
And no, we're not calling anybody stupid, but we all do things that
no.
feel
I mean,
stupid sometimes.
I do feel stupid when I fell down the steps on fog.
Yes.
I mean, who falls on fog?
Or you feel embarrassed, or you're like, golly, if I
Oh
just not
yeah.
done X, Y, and Z, this wouldn't have happened, right?
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
speaking of falling, oh, go ahead.
well, you and I have an inside joke. I'll say, well, I was sitting in my living room just minding my own business. And she goes, well, there's your first problem.
Yep.
Because that's when things happen, it
Yeah.
seems like.
I've used that quote a few times lately.
Yeah, like I'm minding my own business and then boom, the
Yep.
bottom falls out of
Yeah,
everything.
or sometimes we'll talk early in the morning and I'll be like, I'm sure I'll talk to you later. It's only 9 a.m.
Yeah.
There's lots of the day left for
Yeah,
things to
she goes,
happen, right?
I'll say something old like, well, I don't know anything. And like we're two old ladies.
Yep.
And she's like, well, it's early. Maybe
It's early. The plenty of hours in the day for something to happen.
inevitably 2 minutes later, she'll text me and say, well, that didn't take long. And then,
Yeah.
somebody
take
knocked
long.
on my door or whatever. Yeah. It's pretty funny.
Well, when we were talking about this episode, we were talking just brainstorming things, and you talked about falling down the steps. But when you fell down the steps in the last story, it was because it was so icy outside. But I've literally just fallen because I quit remembering how to walk, or just I'll just be 1 minute I'm standing, the next minute, and I mean when I tell you I could probably write a small novel on the amount of times I have fallen. I mean, just for absolutely no good reason. And by the grace of God, I've never been seriously injured. I might have gotten banged up or hurt, but I hadn't
Mm.
knocked myself out. And I don't know if it's funny or not, but it makes me laugh. But I went to college at Western Kentucky University, and they're the Hilltoppers. And they're the Hilltoppers because this college sits on top of, I would call a mountain, because that's what it felt like walking up it every day to class, right? But it's a big old hill. And this is probably one of my earliest memories of falling as an adult. Okay, this is kind of where it all started, and it just kind of went downhill from there. And I'm coming down the hill, I'm walking with a friend of mine, and I mean, it was steep, and we were headed to our dorm, which was at the bottom of the hill. In college, you got your backpack on, and we're talking, and I'm not paying a bit of attention, right? Because I'm too busy socializing. And there were some steps I remember, some like stone steps you had to go down, and I just missed one of them. And
my
so when my
goodness.
foot landed, because we're at such an incline, I proceed to do a like basically fall down and do a back roll. My backpack flies over my body. And my
Oh.
friend says, jump up. I don't think anybody saw you.
Hurry up.
Yeah.
It won't count.
I jump up, and I wasn't hurt or anything. And we keep walking, and I get to where we're going to cross the road. And we have to wait for the light to change. And all of a sudden, some person I don't know walks by and goes, are you okay?
You did. They did see.
And I was like, well, you said nobody saw me. And so I was annoyed. And real quick, while I was still in college, and I do not know how this happened, I was briefly a performing arts major. Okay, sidebar. And so we had to take theater class, which was not my thing. I wanted to dance. And I had a class in the little theater. And I remember in this theater, the steps were really wide, like where you went down to the seats. And I show up for class. I was already very intimidated and uncomfortable because I was not an actor, an actress. I could dance. I could not sing. So I don't know what kind of performing arts I thought I was going to do besides dance, but
puppetry or
puppetry. Something where nobody could see me. And so I'm walking into class with my backpack again, and all of a sudden I just fall and tumble down a couple of the steps like I'm doing a stunt. And somebody turned around and said, "Did you mean to do that?" I'm like,
yes, it was my audition.
yeah. That's funny. I'm like,
Oh.
no. And I think I changed my major not long after that. But anyways, I apparently quit remembering how to use my legs correctly in college.
Well, if anybody's ever set foot on the Middle Tennessee State University campus,
Mm,
you'll know
yes.
what I'm talking about when I say the steps up to the arena.
Mm-hmm.
Like I grew up going to basketball tournaments there. My children graduated from high school
There's a
there.
bazillion of them.
And then not only are they, yeah, there's 1,000 of them, but I don't know what architect thought it was a good idea that you have step and a half size steps,
Mm-hmm.
because you can only take one leg and go right, left, right, left, right, left. I mean, you can't just alternate. I mean, you have to
Mm-hmm.
double time it. I hate them. And I would always try to go, okay, I'm going to do it. I'm going to go right, left, right. I'd make it to about the third one and I'd be short, you know. I've never fell down those steps, but if you've ever been on that campus, you know which steps I'm talking about. And I too fell in college. I was actually at Belmont University at the time and parked my car and was walking down it was just asphalt. And apparently my cute little slip on ballet type shoes had a cheap, hard sole on them. And we got to the bottom of that incline, a bunch of us, and down I went. I just slipped. And of course, my ankle was bleeding and all over my shoe. And
Oh,
we go to class and everybody was going, "What happened? Are you okay?" And I'm trying to hide it. And I'm so embarrassed and it hurts so badly. And to this day, I still have a scar. But yeah, I had forgotten that I fell in college as
I
well.
guess it happens a lot.
Uh huh.
I'm sure there were other times. Now, I have another college mishap that you've just made me think of that does not have to do with falling, but it's a funny story.
Okay, do tell.
Okay. So, I, for the record, I changed dorms a lot, you guys. I went to school there the whole time and I was in several different dorms. So, at the time, I lived in the dorm at the bottom of the hill, and next to it was a parking garage. And that's typically where you had to park, right?
Hmm.
And at the time, I drove a maroon Nissan Sentra, and there was a girl on campus that had the same exact car. And we both parked in the parking garage.
Oh gosh.
And along the road in front of where the dorm was, were like parking places that were like parallel spots, but those were
Hmm.
very rarely came available. Okay. So it, you almost always had to go to, sorry, I'm getting a call, to the parking garage and then walk over. Well, I guess one day I had gotten lucky and gotten one of those parallel spots right in front. And it wasn't like directly in front of the dorm, but it was closer than having to climb down the parking garage, walk over.
Right.
So I whipped in and parked my car there and I was like, woohoo. I was so excited.
I got
You
a good
know,
spot.
yeah. And in college, you don't leave campus every day. So, um, I probably didn't drive my car for a few days. So fast forward, me and some of my girlfriends that I lived with, we had to be at a sorority meeting and you couldn't be late, right? Because you'd get fined and stuff. So we go to get in my car in the parking garage because that's where I always parked it and drive because we had to go all the way across campus. And I was like, we'll never make it. We get over there and I see the car, but it's not mine. It looks like mine, but I know it belongs to another girl. I can't find my car. I think this parking garage was like 3 or 4 levels. It wasn't huge. We look everywhere and we're like, we're going to be late. So we got to start walking. I'm not concerned that I don't know where my vehicle is. All I'm concerned with is my young adult college brain is I don't want to be late for this meeting because I don't want to get fined, right?
Yeah, forget the $10,000 vehicle
I'm
you
missing
paid
my whole
for. Yeah.
car. So we hoofed it across campus. Fast forward, I go on about going to class the next day or two. Still not concerned that I haven't located my vehicle, right?
You're like, it's out there
Yeah,
somewhere.
it's somewhere. Now, this is the dumbest part. I'm embarrassed to admit this. I bet a good 3 days go by. I have gone to class day after day.
Were you late to the meeting?
I was not late to the meeting. I was
Okay,
probably
good.
sweaty by the time we got there. I kid you not. Probably the third day I'm walking to class. Now I've passed by the car now for 3 days in a row and have yet to realize. I go, oh, there's my car. I
You
had
had
been
parked.
walking right by it every day and didn't
Uh-huh.
realize it was mine. I was like, you are such an idiot.
True blue Sentra stayed right there where you left it.
Talk about stupidity. First of all, I was stupid because I wasn't concerned enough to report that I couldn't find my vehicle and maybe it had been stolen.
You didn't need
Second of
to till
all,
you needed it.
well, no. Second of all, I'm like, well, how many times has your stupid self walked right by it and didn't know it was your own car, Stacy? Oh my gosh.
No. Speaking of cars, my best friend from high school, she'll kill me if she hears this, but it was a total
Sorry,
accident.
girl.
Sorry, Mary. It was a total accident. We played high school tennis together, like doubles and all that. And so we leave school and go out to the tennis courts. And one afternoon, we're out there, and I said, hey, do you want to come over and we'll make, I don't know what, cookies? I don't even know why she was coming over, but she was like, yeah. So she's coming over after tennis practice. And so we're rushing. And she said, why don't you just ride with me or I'll ride with you, whatever the deal was. And she said, let me throw my racket in the car real quick. Well, I had gotten in my car or something, or she was in her car, and I go to get in hers. We're standing there talking, and I'm leaning on the vehicle, and I just have my hand, on the whatever, the top of the thing. Well, her little car was like one of the old school metal rim doors, like the window would roll up, but it was encased in a.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, a metal, it had a metal trim on it. And you'd slam it and it was pretty loud. All of my vehicles did that. And so she's like, well, hang on. And we're standing there talking and she slams the door shut. Well, my hand was between the roof of the car and the car door. So my hand gets shut in the door and she went, oh no. And I'm like, oh, it's okay. It's okay. And I go to undo it. It had locked on my hand.
Oh no.
And so she has to run around and crawl in and unlock the car door.
Were you in pain?
It was one of those, like if you stump your toe, it hurts, but it doesn't hurt until you come out of it. And then my knuckles started swelling. And I think I had a tiny little rip on the side of one. I mean, it didn't do anything because my hand kind of, had bent into the shape of the door. But she was so worried and upset. She starts crying and I'm like, I'm fine. I'm fine. So we walk in, my mother's cooking dinner. We walk in and I'm holding my hand and she's like, what'd you do? And Michelle was like, oh, I slammed my car door on her hand and I'm going, it's fine. It's fine. I'm doing that. Nothing. It was fine. But I mean, it was scary for her.
Well, yeah. I mean, you could have broken it.
Could have.
Well, this has not been that long ago, so I should know better. But apparently I have lost the ability to judge if something's flying at my head that shouldn't be. And when Lewis was in high school one year, I guess I was going to a football game, but he was driving already. So I don't know why I was going, but I went, he was there. I went for a little while and I said, I'm leaving, I'm going home. Yeah. So I get out to the parking lot and I throw open my car door and I hit myself. The corner of the car door flies open and nails me right in my glasses, which smash into my head.
I remember this.
It stunned me and I'm like, it knocked me out a little bit. And I'm standing there in the parking lot. First, I'm like, I'm sure somebody saw that. And I'm standing
look around like, did anybody see
and that? I felt like one of those cartoon characters that when the little would come up around their head. That's
the
what
swirlies.
I felt like.
The swirlies.
Good. I have knocked myself out. I mean, I was having trouble seeing. My head hurt. Get in the car. I've cracked my lens of my glasses.
Oh my gosh.
So now I've got to drive home.
I remember this.
I guess I've got a concussion. I remember calling my mom. I'm like, I have knocked myself out in the parking lot. She goes, well, where are you? I said, I'm driving. She goes, should you be driving? I'm like,
you called me.
Oh, did I?
Called me?
Yes. I was like, I have knocked myself out. And anyways,
she goes, I broke my glasses.
I broke my glasses. I'm driving. I can only see out of one lens.
I know. I'm like, focus on the right side of your glasses. And she's like, no, that won't help.
My head hurt so bad after that. I was like, do you just not have good, like, what's that called? When, not peripheral vision, but I just didn't clear the door with my big head.
Reaction time.
Maybe. I was like, stand back a little bit, Stacy. Good grief. I was probably in a hurry because I was trying to get home. Yep.
Trying to get home. Well, speaking of feeling stupid, I've actually sprayed myself with mace twice. Like I've always
Okay, I've never done that.
Oh. Back in the day, that was a thing. You would carry mace on your
Yep.
keychain. Husband or your dad or your whomever would buy you a keychain mace. I'm sure they sold
like a leather pouch.
Yep, it had a strap on it and it would snap shut. And you'd have to turn the little dial. Like if you were, we were always warned, if you're ever in a parking lot at night, turn your dial and walk with it in your hand. I'm like, okay, I'm probably gonna, I don't know. Anyway, so at the time, I have to explain how that happened. The first time I did it, I was rushing to pack for a trip. I was going out of town and actually going on I think my first cruise. I don't even remember, but we were in the final day of moving. We were going to do our final load, unload, grab our suitcases, get up the next morning, go to this cruise, And so I jump in my car and I, have to adjust myself on my console. My car's full of stuff, because we're moving. This was my final load, my laundry basket, all the things. And I lean on the console and I hear, shh. And naturally, I'm like, what was that? And I put my face down there and I opened the console and the fumes just overtook me. And I'm like, oh no, it was my mace. Apparently, I had not undialed my dial.
You maced yourself?
Maced myself.
What does that feel like?
Like,
is it burn?
Yeah, hot pepper. When you cut an onion, that onion pain, it's worse than that.
Does it smell weird?
It doesn't smell weird. I didn't smell anything because immediately the lining of my nose, my throat, everything, my eyes are watering. I can't drive. I'm like blowing my nose. I'm trying and I'm thinking I need water. Well, of course, we all find out that's the worst thing you can put on it. The only remedy for that is like milk or baby shampoo, like to get the
really
stop the burn. Yes, if you put water on it, it intensifies.
Makes it worse.
Yes, I found that out because I didn't know. I'd never done it.
Well, yeah.
Well, bottom line was, we get on vacation. I start feeling horrible that next morning.
No.
We fly out. I'm on vacation. Within 3 hours, I'm deathly ill. My throat
from inhaling that.
From inhaling my lung. I'm coughing. I'm draining. I'm in the infirmary with like 101 fever. It had just jacked me up and I was so frustrated and upset. We had saved and saved and saved. And here we are leaving Miami and I'm in the infirmary getting a shot. I'm so mad.
I guess we're going to have to call this episode Ways We've Tried to Take Ourselves Out because
yeah. But then the next time wasn't as exciting. I think I was digging through a box of junk because, I'm kind of love vintage and antiques and things. And I'm in the garage digging through something and I'm like, what is in this? And I whipped the lid open and apparently the mace had leaked out of the thing, whatever. I don't know why it was in a can. And boom, same thing.
You maced yourself twice.
Well, I didn't really spray myself that second time, but the fumes had hung around in the can.
Oh my Lord. Somebody take her mace away.
I said, I am not going through this again. Jeez, and I think I was so mad. I thought, who does that? Who actually does that twice?
You?
But, And then, at one point I had thought about getting my handgun, and then I thought, probably not a good idea. So
Oh, no, you don't need that.
yeah, that was a no.
Well, so back to falling. I just thought of this because now you keep making me think of things. I mean, this has, y'all, when I say that I have been falling since about the age of 20 until, I'm not going to say it because it hasn't, I fell
Yeah,
not long
don't.
ago, but it
Yeah,
wasn't bad. I fell in the backyard. But when the kids were younger, and I mean, they were elementary age, here we are. Kara and I are like, we're going to go to the pumpkin patch. And so me, my mom, and my sister pile up. We go way out. It's far away to that honeysuckle hill pumpkin patch. Okay. We take the kids. We paid probably an arm and a leg to get in. Okay. We're all excited. Yay. We're going to do the fall fun.
Oh, yeah.
It's
Oh my
hot. I
God.
remember it was hot. I mean, it's October, but it was hot. And I remember what I had on because I got pictures of it. And I remember I just gotten a new phone, and I was probably skinny then, so I probably had pants with pockets. Had my phone in my pocket, and I think I had like a little backpack purse or something. I don't know. We hadn't been there long. And the first activity we come to that we're going to do is the corn maze. And I'll never forget, there was a story like being told throughout it. It was Spookly the Square Pumpkin. And we get back off in this corn maze, and there we come to this like open area. So you can kind of come out, and then you got to choose which way you're going. I'm just diddly doodly da da going on about it. And one minute I was standing up, and the next minute I was laying flat on the ground like somebody had chopped a tree down. And the only thing missing was somebody going, timber. I had hung my foot on a pumpkin vine, and my whole big body just went, bam, and hit the ground.
You can ask my children. That's me tripping I trip on everything.
Yeah.
But I hang my foot around stuff like that all the time.
When I tell you, it about knocked the wind out of me. It scraped up my hand. I fell on my new phone that was in my pocket, and I'm like, oh, probably broke that. And I get up, and I was hurting so bad that I felt nauseous. And the worst part of this story was people walked by, and not one soul stopped and said, "Are you okay?
Well, you were trying not to be seen.
So
you didn't want to be seen."
Lewis is standing there. He looks traumatized because, I mean, it was literally like I had just died. I was standing one minute, and the next I'm laying flat on the ground.
The fainting mother.
Yes. And so somehow, I don't know if one of us had brought snacks or whatever, but I was like, sometimes you feel nauseous, like I need a Coke, I need something. So I just literally sit down on the ground in the middle of this freaking corn maze that, mind you, I've still got to get out of. Okay.
And it's hot.
It's hot. I'm sipping the Coke. I finally recover enough, but where I've scraped my hand, it has a heartbeat now. So I'm walking around with my hand straight up in the air. And I'm sure my sweet sister and mom were troopers or probably like, do you want to go? Because I hear I'm injured and I'm over it. I'm like,
we just got here.
We just got here. We've driven, an hour, and we've paid this money. We're going. So we do the pumpkin ride. We do get the pumpkin. We did all the things. So we get in the car to go home, and I'm trying to remember how all this went down. And I just remember I was over the pumpkin patch, and Lewis had been really quiet this whole time. Like, I don't know what, he hadn't said much. And he goes, I thought I was going to have to get a new mom.
Oh my God.
I mean, I was like,
well, poor thing.
Yeah, I know. I said, I guess he thought I had just dropped dead right there in the thing. But no, I had just fallen again.
Well, the dumbest trip I've ever done, tripping, the baby bumper things you put on the corner of tables, and they're rubbery or whatever. Oh, every time I walk by it in my kitchen, my wide hips, my clothing sticks to it and it jerks me. And I'm like, I know it's there and I keep doing it. Like, I don't understand, but I do. I trip on nothing. Like, literally things I should be tripping on, I don't trip on, but air I trip on. I don't get it.
Oh gosh. I mean, we could keep going. We may have to stop and restart because there's so many stories. Because every time you say something, I'm like, yeah, I remember that.
Well, I've got several more stories to tell about I should have just not. Just don't.
Well, we'll have to do a series, a
Okay.
series of things
Yeah,
I should have just not.
true. All right. Well, listeners, we appreciate all your feedback. We are starting to see lots of comments and we appreciate them and we do read them and we love hearing from you. So if you
Yes.
want to throw a comment on there about a silly time that you fell or had a mishap,
Or just
let us know
shouldn't
because
shouldn't have
yeah,
done it.
when you should have not been minding your own business. All right. It's time to dispatch the detach. Remember, start a list. Don't make a fist. I said that backwards. See? Now Stacy's really laughing.
Oh my gosh. Don't make a fist.
Start
Start
a
a list.
list.
All right, guys. See y'all next time.